What's up, good people? What's up? What's up? It's been a while. Took us a couple days after the normally we go on Mondays, is it? That's been our habit, but we've been a couple days for whatever reason. Weather, family, but we here. Watch the game. Shout out to my man DJ Span. He hit me up the other day and we had a real good talk about this particular show. Uh Gonna shoot some ideas back and forth. But DJ Span, what's up, man? And he's been looking forward to us coming on, so I want to send him out a shot. First and foremost, before we got started tonight, I'm gonna do some things a little different tonight, and some things I want to kind of get used to, and start promoting some things. So, from time to time, we're gonna shout out my man DJ Get Down. DJ Get Down.
Yeah.
DJ Get Down is a Michigan fan, if you must know, Penn. He's also a Chicago Bear fan.
So his heart was he had one heart side was beating and the other one was just stumped to death. That's what he had this weekend.
Hey, that's I just want you to get comfortable with understanding, that other people may be feeling your pain being a Michigan fan, and he's another Michigan fan. And DJ Get Down always know what a party is. I mean, I don't care what city he's in. He gets off the plane, he know where to go. He know what a party is. DJ Get Down. And for the first plug, I'm gonna plug. He's got at Jay's Supper Club. That's in Gary, Indiana. There's gonna be a watch party for the Bears Packers on Sunday. I believe the doors open at 2:30. No cover charge. DJ Good Down will be there. I say no cover charge. That's in Gary, Indiana, 2601 Broadway, Gary, Indiana. Large screens, cocktails and beer, and food specials. Join my man DJ Get Down. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going because I'm suspended. But that's my man. I want to send him a shout out and show him some love tonight. And if you can, join him at Jay's Supper Club in Gary.
There you go. DJ Get Down. What's up, bro?
Hey, man, listen. The title of tonight's show is He's the Superstar in Coaching Matters. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the one and only Ben Johnson. And over the last couple days, he's made some statements and he retracted or came back and cleared some things up after making those statements. First and foremost, I want to get your opinion on what you think of the statements that he made. It's not a direct quote, but he pretty much said that as far as the Bears passing game, they're not satisfied with the passing game, but they're all concerned about that. Most people took it as that he was taking a shot at Caleb. Some people put it in proper perspective and said he was looking at the all-around perspectives of the passing game, all 11 guys included. But before I go any further, how do you feel about those statements?
Yeah, I'm on that side of the fence. He was including everybody, especially when he said us. Now, if you want to single out Caleb, I'm sure Caleb can't be happy with his completion percentage, his accuracy, the drop balls, leaving a lot of points on the field. Even though they're 9-3, the offense could be more potent than it is. And I know they're leading the league in a lot of categories, yards per game, rush yards per game. I think scoring point difference, something like that. I seen the stat. They was in like 4 categories. They was number 1. And that's a great place to be when you at the top of the charts on a lot of things and you not satisfied. I mean, that's the type of athletic arrogance that we got accustomed to in the 90s, especially watching Michael Jordan. You know, even though they was at the top, it was not good enough to just be at the top. It was about domination. So Ben's statements when you alerted me to him, because you know I was kind of like just, you know, after Michigan lost, I was just unplugged. But when you alerted me to him, I thought he was talking about everybody on the offense. Rome's dropping, you know, he should be catching a lot more balls than that he actually comes down with. DJ, you know, I've been saying since last year, I haven't really been a fan of DJ's body language. Cole Kmet, even the usage of Colston Loveland. I know it's been better here lately, but there's a lot of area to improve with this offensive unit. I mean, let's just take away, they lead the league in takeaways. You can't live and die on that year in and year out. So I think that's where they kind of looking at this thing like, if we don't have these takeaways, what's our record in that scenario? Because we're getting field goals instead of 7s too many times. So like I said, I thought it was an overall arching thing about the offense and whole. I didn't think he was singling out QB1 here in Chicago, but I mean, I understand how some people could take it that way, but and him going out and clearing it up. I mean, there's nothing wrong with clearing it up. He was just letting it be known he wasn't singling the quarterback out, and I'm sure the quarterback feels the exact same way that Ben Johnson does.
Okay, well said. I think you cleared it up. My thing is this. Do you remember, we talked about this, remember when Justin wasn't playing well and they went out and they asked him, you know, what he think the problem might be, Justin Fields, when he was a quarterback for the Bears. He said he was kind of just throwing it out there, you know, maybe coaching. Remember that? He kind of got that out there. Before the end of the day, he came back and cleared that up. That he wasn't, everything around here is good. So Ben Johnson makes the statements about everyone not being pleased with the passing game of the offense. That was on Monday. And on Tuesday, he came back and not retracted the statements, but he wanted to make sure that everyone knew he was not taking a shot at Caleb Williams. Yeah. My thing is this. What was the motivation behind coming back? Was it something that he set out to do, or was it an organizational thing? Being, look, we don't want that narrative out. Go clear that up. And with that being said, with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, I think both guys are ultra competitive. Caleb Williams is extremely competitive. I can see it on the sideline. I can see it on the field. He's probably harder on himself than anyone else, because, you know, Caleb Williams and I are under the same zodiac sign. Okay, let me let. And I tend to try and be the biggest critic of myself. I try my best to critique things I do that I particularly care about, or responsibilities that I must take the initiative for. So with that being said, I do believe that Caleb Williams has that same type of mentality and enthusiasm towards how he goes about doing his work. Ultra competitive, and he's probably very critical of himself and gets down on himself before anyone else will. But there's egos at play. And one thing I want to ask you, because in my opinion, Ben Johnson is the reason this team is winning. Ben Johnson is the reason this offense is flourishing because he's figuring it out. He's making the adjustments, him along with the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Before the bye week, they couldn't get the run game going. Now, since the bye week, they are I think, maybe the top rushing team in the NFL. Coming into this season, I question with so many good moves on the offensive line. I thought usually when you get an aging veteran offensive line and you start piecing them together, they usually start getting injured.
Yeah.
And that hasn't really been the case. Darnell Wright has had his injuries. I'm not sure in particular what was injured on Darnell. I think it was an arm or a shoulder or something like that. And then the rotation of the left tackle position. I think the Bears have had 3 guys play this position. And we knew going into the season that left tackle position was up for grabs, and they were figuring out who was going to take that position and run with it. But I thought that amongst the other 4, the other 4 consistent offensive linemen, that they may run across some health issues because of, these guys been around for a while. But fortunately for the Bears, outside of Darnell Wright's situations, he wasn't really playing particularly well early either. He's gotten on track, but he had some injuries he was fighting through. And then Trapillo and Braxton, who was the starting left tackle this season? Was it Braxton Jones?
I thought Braxton was swing, and then they went to what's my man, Theo Benedict.
So there's 3 different guys been at that position.
Yeah.
Because Braxton Jones was the starting left tackle when the season started. So left tackle and right tackle had some injuries. When you talk about Darnell Wright, a little bit inconsistent play with Darnell Wright. And then on the left side, it's been a lot of just figuring out which guy would get the job and carry out through the season. With that being said, they have not had a bunch of injuries right in the middle of that line. They've been pretty consistent and been getting better as the season has went on. But they got that running game going. And for people that followed the Bears through the training camp, that was one of the things Ben Johnson was trying to figure out. What type of run team would they be? A zone running team, or what would the strategy be for their run game? And he had to figure that out. And I think to this point, they're probably doing a lot of different things, and they figured some things out. I mean, you even had some injuries with the running back situation. Roschon Johnson, apparently, with the concussions, they moved him to special teams. He's got maybe 2 or 3 carries all season. We thought he would get more early, but apparently he's been kind of solidified at his position on special teams. And Kyle Monangai, DeAndre Swift has pretty much carried the load. Kyle Monangai getting an opportunity once Swift started getting banged up, and he's showing some special attributes of being very good in the run game. DeAndre Swift, after the bye week, he was able to get it going and flourish. And now, as we sit now, the Bears have probably the top rushing offense in the National Football League. And at 9-3, sit at the top seed. If the playoffs were to start right now, they'd be the best team. They'd have a bye week and a home game at Soldier Field. But the passing game has been criticized because Caleb Williams hasn't been playing extremely well. I think he's under 60% completion percentage. And I believe he's the most inaccurate passer in the league, is what's been reported. So, with all that being said, and I said a lot, how do you stir this up? Because I think Ben Johnson, he's a young coach. I think he has an ego, and he wants you to know He the reason why we doing this. He's the reason. The taking. I mean, he's a character. The character is building with Ben Johnson. Taking the shirt off. He's a man of the people. He's becoming Ditka-esque. He's becoming marketable. And I just don't believe. I believe between him and Caleb, can they share that spotlight? And I'm wondering now if in going into Packer Week, this is not the time when you want to have these questions, but that's why I'm at with it. I believe he's an ultra competitive coach. I believe Caleb is competitive. Can they both survive in that realm? Because Ben Johnson is letting everyone know this is his team. He's been doing it since day one, since he took the job.
So we basically having signs of early problems of, dare I say, what we see break dynasties apart. And what just come to mind, Tom Brady and not the best coach ever, Bill Belichick, the 90s Bulls and Jerry Krause. You can even go take it more recent, the Golden State Warriors, Kevin Durant, and how he got up there. Like, I think we got to be careful of not really just like fast tracking this thing. We are 9-3, first place in the NFC. I think I saw that on the other day. It's been since 2015 that's happened or something like that. I think I saw. That's 10 years. We've been through a lot of losing, a lot of bad quarterback play, a lot of bad head coaches, a lot of bad offensive coordinators. So two things can be true. One is, yes, Ben Johnson has the ego. Yes, Ben Johnson and coaching staff is the reason that the Bears have experienced this turnaround, because we all know 1 year ago on Black Friday, we watched Matt Eberflus do a press conference and say he was going to coach versus San Francisco. Only less than 2 hours later, he was fired. And I think they was in the midst of a 7-game losing streak at that point.
Yeah.
So we can have that aspect of Ben Johnson, the coaching staff, being the exact reason that the Bears are where they are. But we can also have it as so that both of these guys are ultra competitive. Both of these guys expect more. I think Ben is more pleased with what he's doing right now than Caleb, if I'm making an accurate assessment. Because Caleb was #1 pick, supposed to be generational talent. That's a phrase we don't use here on this platform because we just don't.
Generation. I don't throw that around lightly. I really don't.
And we don't deal with that. But you gotta believe that he looked at somebody like Jaden Daniels winning Rookie of the Year last year. He's looking at Drake May being, in the MVP conversation, and then he's looking at, well, damn, I ain't even completing 60% of my passes. So that's two things can be true. I'm saying it's Ben Johnson, but I'm also saying, like, I don't think it's a rift there. I don't think we experiencing signs of a rift there yet. I think we got to do some more winning first. And I mean, not just games, some division titles. You got to get to some NFC championship games, and you got to have a Super Bowl under your belt for us to really break down this ego thing and trying to put them at odds like that. They ain't won enough.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. The fan base, if you go across social media platforms, the question is Ben Johnson one of the Bears' top 5 coaches already? I mean, they have not taken the North yet. You got to win the division at least one time to have that question. And you remember when I told you that Bear fans are starting to act like they're from Cleveland? That's what Cleveland fans did when Baker Mayfield was when I think he had the Browns had one good. Didn't they have a playoff appearance with Baker Mayfield?
Yeah,
Or at least one,
yeah.
maybe a wild card. They had a good season.
I think they won the game too. Yeah.
Yeah, and see me, I'm very much so into different media outlets when it comes to sports, especially during the football season. I'll listen to what's going on in Cleveland. I'll listen to what's going on in Pittsburgh. I don't just stay with Chicago. I kind of move around because I be wanting to. I be wanting to trying to find out what's the feel around the country when these teams are getting these so-called franchise quarterbacks or when they're winning. I be trying to find out what's the pulse of that city. And for years we know what the pulse was in Chicago. So I would check out from time to time, and that's why I come to the assessment that Chicago media, Chicago fans are starting to act like they're from Cleveland. Because Cleveland I felt like they needed to pump the brakes. And for me, being suspended, my thing is get me past double doink. Then we can talk. Once you get past the double doink, we have taken the next phase. We have taken the next step onto the next phase with this franchise. Do you remember? You probably don't want to, but you probably can remember how you felt when the Bears lost to the Colts the night it happened. You probably remember exactly where you were when that happened.
The only reason I could swallow that pill was because I won
in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was cool with Peyton getting the ring after everything he went through trying to overcome Tom Brady. So I was mad, but I wasn't like, well, damn, because I didn't think that year, I didn't think we was good enough to win the Super Bowl. Our defense was,
but they were there.
Yeah,
they were there, and when you're there, you don't get there like it had been years before they had been there before.
Yeah,
when you're there. So all I'm saying is when you get there and when you lose it, you have a certain feeling. Now, you're describing yours. I was like, especially the way the game started with Devin Hester taking the open kickoff for a touchdown.
Yeah.
That was a crazy, crazy night. I can't really go into detail for a lot of things that happened, but besides watching that game, but that was a bad feeling that night. And the reason why I asked you that was to bring you back to the double doink.
Yeah.
See, really young fans.
Yeah.
I can understand a really young fan.
Yeah.
Being so gung ho about this, but after all the decisions that have been made since double doink, including the tanking around Justin Fields, that I'm still not pleased about. I put all of this, and I set a standard for this team, and it's to get me past that double doink stage, because they had some times where they were not trying to win, and they sacrificed a few guys on that roster to make that point to get us where we are. And I can understand that. But the biggest thing for me was the affiliation of the buddy system.
Yeah.
For those of you that do not know, I'm suspended as a Bears fan. What a time to be suspended at 9-3 when you've been a fan since Walter Payton. That's the reason why I'm a Chicago Bear fan. But right now, I'm staying true to myself with this suspension. I've been suspended since March 2024. I'll be reassessing this thing in March of 2026. Suspended with 2 years with an option for the third. Okay? Just to bring you guys up to speed. But when I found out that they had the buddy system in play, I was like, if Ryan Poles Matt Eberflus, Luke Getzey, and later on Shane Waldron, if they all have the same agent, where's the accountability? Who's going to point out who? Because we're all cashing our checks at the same bank.
Yeah.
And I just didn't feel good about it. And the tanking went down. And now that I see Ben Johnson doing his thing with this team, I hate it even more. Because it's like Matt Eberflus should have never been the coach of this team. They put the buddy system ahead of the team in the first place. Thankful to Kevin Warren. I believe Kevin Warren has came to Chicago and he's given his team a new standard because he knows he has to get a shovel in the ground at Arlington Heights. He has to get a stadium built.
Yeah.
So now I believe Kevin Warren came. This is just my assessment, and I'm going on a rant. I believe Kevin Warren came to Hallis Hall and he said, you know what? This buddy system got to go, guys. Ryan, you the brother. You might be safe. But that dude right there, Matt Eberflus, he got to go.
Yeah.
Luke Getzey, he got to go. So then we bring in Shane Waldron. Caleb made it clear that he didn't want to play for him before he even got drafted to the Bears. So Caleb Williams, as a rookie, comes into Chicago already with some narratives that had nothing to do with playing football on the field. The reports were after the season was over with, his rookie season, and we know it was a rough rookie season, being sacked 68 times, team winning 5 games, whatever. But the reports were, well, a lot of you fans don't know, that Caleb Williams, after the season was over with, these reports started coming out that Caleb Williams was kind of disrespectful to the coaches, knowing that he was the biggest ticket in town, knowing that they were on their way out the door. And I wasn't particularly a fan of getting Caleb Williams anyway, but now I just find it hard to cheer for that, if you know what I mean. But now he came in with an aura. Now Ben Johnson's, he's got an aura too. And now they're clashing. They're coming together. Ben Johnson came to Chicago because of Caleb Williams. If that's what you want to believe, run with it. Me personally, I think that Ben Johnson came to Chicago to coach the Chicago Bears because he knows this is one of the charter franchises in the National Football League. And if he comes to Chicago and win, he can be like Mike Ditka, that is. He can have a statue like George. So, yeah, if Caleb Williams is the quarterback that helped him get that done, fine. But if Caleb Williams don't get this passing game going, his ass got to go. This is Ben Johnson's team, and Ben has all the juice.
I mean, again, still way too early. Way too early.
Hey, man, I'm suspended. This is how I'm going to fan. So go ahead.
Way too early. I'm just saying. And I have your seat still reserved on the
Will
Bears.
Bates, what's up?
What's up, Big Will? Listen, your seat on the Bears bandwagon is still reserved. I still got it. Like I said,
Will got me. I got 2 seats reserved. You got one for me, and Will got one for me. Go ahead.
So we just waiting because this is what you've been waiting for. You've been waiting for those Chicago Bears to be good. You just went and highlighted how you felt after they lost to the Colts in the 05 Super Bowl, 06, February 06. You just went back and told us that you've been a Bears. The reason it was Walter Payton, sweetness. That's why you just said so he could be like Mike. You didn't say Jordan, you said Ditka. Like
That's what Ben. I think that's, and don't get me wrong now, because Ben, I think is Ben making what, 13 million a year? Is that what Ben is making?
It's up there. I ain't see the exact number. Yeah.
Okay, we may be wrong on that, but he ain't cheap. He ain't come cheap, and he get a chance to come to Chicago and be a winner and own this town. Yeah, if Caleb Williams can help him do that, fine. But he's a man of the people. He's a man of the people. He took his shirt off to prove it. And he fed everybody hot dogs all across Chicagoland. If you could have made it to the hot dog stand, you'd have got you a free hot dog.
That was so scripted to me, because I'm like, I get it.
Very Dick-alike.
No, but this is why it was scripted to me, because we see every week, good, better, best, when they give out the game balls, that's one of the first things I do after they win the game is I go check their social media account to see who got game balls and see what the speech is. Now he's got to keep
promotion.
He can't just he can't just keep coming out there and saying the same thing. Well, look, we got another one. We got 6. Remember the one week he went in his pocket, he was like, I'm trying to find it. Oh, that's 5 right there. Like, he has to keep topping himself. So now he took his shirt off. So what he gonna do? Give himself a Gatorade bath the next time?
See, now you get it. Now you get where I'm going with it. Ben Johnson has character. Ben Johnson knows that if he wins in Chicago, sky's the limit. He can own this town. When I found out, when he first got signed on to the Bears and they was asking him about Chicago, and he was saying, I think his brother-in-law had season tickets to the Cubs games and he's been to a few games. That man knows exactly what it means to come to Chicago and win.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, Caleb Williams, being a young guy, being from the DC area, he didn't exactly understand how big it would be when he got drafted to come in Chicago and be the man at their quarterback position. So he came in a little different, meaning some people say he was trying to circumvent the draft or whatever. And that's a lot of the reason why I am. But two guys coming into a franchise two totally different ways, in my opinion. Ben Johnson he knows exactly what he's getting himself into. Caleb was a bit critical of the organization, him and his dad and his people, I guess, for the lack of success that they had developing the quarterback position. And I understand. Because, yes, they did tank on Justin Fields, and I will forever feel that way, regardless if I come back or not. That they done. But all I'm saying now is, with all the hype, Ben Johnson, his character is building, his ego is building, and all of a sudden now, he got to come back and, hey, man, we ain't trying to criticize Caleb. So now I'm like, okay, where's the power struggle? Was he influenced? Did they tell him to go back and say this? Because it was not like it wasn't true. If he was trying to point out Caleb's play, the national media has been telling you he's been inaccurate all season. Yeah. The national media has been telling you they've been winning because of Ben Johnson. So why did he feel the need to come out? Was it his motivation, or was it someone in the front office say, man, go dial that back? Kind of like what they did to Justin. Go dial that back. I don't know. I'm just wondering if it's been influenced for him to make that statement. So. And it's interesting that it happens during Packer Week.
Yeah, I think so. I like I said originally, I don't think he meant anything bad. I think he was including the whole offensive unit. But the Bears got publicists and a marketing team, and they got their ear to the street on, what the chatter is. And I'm sure that can fester throughout the building, whatever. He probably did get pulled aside like, hey, we know you didn't mean anything by this, but just before this thing gets legs and wheels and takes on a mind of its own, you might want to just come out here and just clarify your statements just so we can put that to rest and then go on the Packers week. I'm sure somebody got in this ear, whether it was intentional, what he said was intentional or not. They put him
So
to
we
just
took,
like remember Mitch had to have the PR
yeah, cut
person
the
standing up
TVs off.
next.
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Same
yeah.
thing.
The
Same thing.
Bears always have these moments. They have these moments. Justin had his moment. Mitch had his moment. I don't think Caleb had a moment like that yet. I don't think he's had a moment like that yet. But there's a lot of stories around Caleb, especially last season. And now it's the relationship of coach and player quarterback that's developing this year. But the biggest star, a superstar in Chicago right now is Ben Johnson. And coaching matters. And coaching has always mattered. And it always will matter, in my opinion. And we got a little sidetracked, but this is what I want you to do. And I ask you, get me past. The Bears need to get me past the double doink phase. Now, do you remember how you felt that night when Cody Parkey double doinked, when we knew all season that they needed a kicker? And that's what did him in that season.
Yeah.
How did you feel that night
They
of
lost
double
to Nick.
doink when the Bears lost to the Philadelphia Eagles?
That was the division or the wild card round. I'm just trying to remember what
That
side of the
was
play.
they had to buy the opening week because they were
12-4.
so what
that
would
was the
that be?
division, the second
Yes.
weekend. So that was the second weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
especially how that game unfolded. That was the Bears game to win. I mean, Mitch took him down the field, got him in field goal position. The Eagles they wasn't world beaters. I mean, Nick Foles was quarterback. And I think they went on ahead and lost to the Saints next week in the NFC Championship, I believe. But I thought that Bears team was poised to go further than they did. Now, as history showed us, that team was heavily flawed. There was a lot of cracks in that team. But we was just riding a wave of 12-4, and it was just I didn't think there was a Super Bowl team, but to lose like on the double doink, it's like not only did you doink me once, you had to double down on it and doink me again to let me know this ain't happening today. So
yeah, and we knew that was a problem. We knew that was a problem going into that game. The thing about that season was we knew the defense was Super Bowl caliber. Mitchell Trubisky was still developing. We had a really good run game that people seem to forget. Jordan Howard was one of the second best running backs in the league that year, behind Ezekiel Elliott. People tend to forget that. But they gave Mitchell Trubisky his kudos, and he was all of a sudden he was an MVP candidate the following season. Yeah, let me clear that up. He was an alternate. He was an alternate.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Yes, he made it to the Super Bowl, but he was an alternate. Okay. He went to the party because someone else didn't want to go, or someone else had something else better to do, like playing a championship game or something. Yeah. He was an alternate. Okay, so that double doink season, we knew that the kicking game was suspect. And this is where I'm going with this. At 9-3, getting ready to play the Packers, and we'll get into that game coming up soon. Dive into some Michigan news. Say that again.
So you about to talk about the MVP of the 2020 season, Cairo Santos?
No, I ain't gonna get to that. What I'm about to tell you now is the storyline now going into this is the passing game being not what they wanted to be cracked up to be. Going into Packer week with all the statements that have been made during the draft, during the hiring of Ben Johnson, making his little snarky comments at Matt LaFleur, saying that, throughout his years in Detroit, he kind of, enjoyed beating up on Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers twice a year. So it's all a build up. It's all a build up. But it's interesting that we got all of these statements that have been made first and foremost on Monday by Coach Johnson, and then on Tuesday he have to retract those. Well, not retract them, but clarify that he wasn't trying to put Caleb out, bust Caleb's bubble or whatever, point him out as being the reason why the offense wasn't clicking. But now going into the Packer game, everyone's going to be watching. They're going to be looking at this passing game. 325. Watch party at Jay's Supper Club with DJ Get Down in Gary, Indiana.
There you go.
So everyone's going to be watching to see if this passing game has made some adjustments since they beat the Eagles. That is going to be something everyone's looking at. I believe that the Packers are going to come out and try and stop that run game. But my bottom line is the Eagles are clashing. The organization is trying to, get everybody on the same page. I just don't know what to think. So it's going to be interesting. It's just the timing of all this. And we may be blowing it out of proportion, but it's the timing of it. It's Bears Packer week. It is the biggest 2 weeks of the season, as of recent years. But it's interesting that we got this stuff coming up, and the media might be trying to blow it out of proportion, like I said. But you cannot deny after these statements that everyone's going to be looking at any adjustments being made in the passing game, and everyone is going to be focused on the accuracy, the completion percentages. All of this stuff is going to be at play at 325 on Sunday.
What you say? The NFL is fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. It's what the NBA used to be. So, I just got a lot of interesting questions about, what's going on at Hallis Hall. They're doing great on Sundays. But what goes on between Monday through Saturday? And that's what I'm questioning now. What's going on Monday through Saturday leading up to this Packer game, and what we're going to see. The spotlight's going to be on the passing game. And can the running game continue to flourish? And the question is he going to overcompensate one for the other, trying to prove something? You know what I mean? It's very interesting. I mean, we haven't even talked about the Packers. I don't think anyone really cares about the Packers. I mean, how they're playing. I really don't. We don't have to really talk about the Packers. I mean, we know how big the game is, and we'll talk about the game after it happens. We know how big this game is. And the interesting thing about this, the Bears right now have the top seed in NFC. If they lose this game, they can drop from 1 to 7. Did you know that?
Yeah.
If they lose this game, that's crazy, isn't it? They can drop from 1 to 7 in one loss. Because I guess of what the Seahawks are doing, in their division, and being that the Bears have only won maybe one divisional game, one of the NFC games, NFC North games. So interesting, man. A lot of storylines going into this game, week 14 with Green Bay. I want to give you a chance, and we're going to close this thing out in a little while. I want to give you a chance because in college football, the story is about Lane Kiffin. And I know you don't give a damn about Lane Kiffin because I want to give you an opportunity I've given you some time. It's been a little time. And I know you were down over the weekend and your Michigan Wolverines went down to the Ohio State Buckeyes after beating them in how many consecutive years?
4.
Yeah. So go ahead, man. Let it out. I'm here for you. Let it out.
uh, let's see. Looking back, because I still have not watched sports since that game concluded. Let me just be,
Yeah.
and that's not just for clickbait. That's not just because we got a platform to get our viewers up. No, you can ask anybody. I have not watched any sports since that game concluded. The You would think, we won 4 in a row. Probably a lot of times we're never more talented than Ohio State. That's year in, year out. They recruit better than us. They always got more better skill position players than us, game breakers. That's been the case since the 80s. Okay. But to see Michigan lose to not only Ohio State, but USC and Oklahoma the same exact way, it's like the team didn't get any better. I know me and you, after that Oklahoma game, that was week 2. I came on here and I said, my problem is not that they lost the game, it's how they lost the game, because they handcuffed the quarterback. Even when the game got out of hand, instead of them just going, you know what, let's just see what he can do, just turn him loose and let's see what happens, because you're going to need that later on in the season. And it showed its head again in the USC game. Although I think the USC game was more so they wasn't just ready to play. And then again versus Ohio State, they threw 4 passes in the first half. Every first down was a run. Outside of the opening run with Jordan Marshall getting maybe like a 45-yard gain and getting them in scoring range, they walked away with 3. I was like, okay, that's not great, but I'll take it. Then I was telling, the contingent, you ain't come over this year, but it was me, number 12, Cutter Pac-Man, and Uncle Joe. We was talking trash till 4 a.m. on Wednesday night about the game, the upcoming game.
Did Uncle Joe make it? He was there for Thanksgiving again, as he do traditionally.
Yeah, he was there on Wednesday.
And then he head out on Friday. Then he heads out on Friday just before the big game. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so on Wednesday night, he was saying, we was making an argument that Ryan Day get out coached last year because of how he played that game, trying to run the ball, trying to prove he was tougher than Michigan. So I said, he's going to do the opposite this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they throw it 60 times, and Michigan needs to be prepared for that, for them to play to their strength. And when we got the interception, I said, I told you, they're going to try and throw this ball all over the field, because the first play of the game, they tried to hit a deep ball to Carnell Tate. It got broken up. They threw it again to Jeremiah Smith. It got picked off. But what happened? Michigan comes back, and they only get 3 points. It was at that point I started to not feel great about our chances to win the game. And then as Jordan Marshall gets hurt, Bryson Cusdahl comes into the game, and shout out to number 12, aka Rich Hudson, aka my dad. I told him, he was like, I think Cusdahl is a good back. Yeah, versus Maryland and versus Northwestern, he looked like a world beater. He played a real defense, and he was very two-starish. Okay, so all that said, it was not that we lost to Ohio State, because I won 4 in a row. I know I can't win them forever. Eventually, they're going to get the best of us. It was just that they looked no better than they did versus Oklahoma. The game plan was flawed. I don't understand why you go spend $10 million on the quarterback and not let him throw the ball. I don't understand how I didn't agree with this at the end of the game, but now I kind of see it, how he pretty much regressed from starting the season to now. And you got to remember, he was an early enrollee. He was down with the team and got the bowl practices last year, 15 bowl practices. He was there for the winter program. He was there for spring ball. He took every snap as QB1. And for y'all to get to the biggest game, for y'all to get to the Super Bowl, because that's what it was for me, and y'all say he can only throw the ball 4 times in the first half. Like that was coaching malpractice. And looking at the schedule, how it's lining up next year, I've been following the recruits today. We only got one 5-star defensive edge. I think he's out of Virginia, somebody like that. But it's not a great class coming in. We got Oregon on the road next year. We got to go to Columbus. We get Michigan State at home. But, they just hired Pat Fitzgerald, so I'm sure there'll be a better team. We got Indiana at home next year. Penn State. So that's 5 games. 1-4. That's how it feels right now.
Listen, you dived into next year's schedule. The challenge is to be better, but I'm gonna go back to this Ohio State matchup. I text you before the game started, and I asked you, and I don't know if I got an answer because I wasn't sure. I said, "Is Michigan? Are the running backs healthy?" Because I know they were dealing with some injuries with their first and second string running back, and they were down to their third string back.
Justin Haynes was out completely, and Jordan Marshall was banged up with the shoulder. I thought they held him out versus Maryland precautionary. I thought he would be 100% ready to go, and for him to go down when he did in the game and not come back, I was like, okay, it was more serious than that, because you don't just come out of that game.
Okay, this is what I'm getting to, and this is why I told you that last year's game was an upset.
It was, yeah.
So this year you lose possibly your top 2 running backs, and you got a freshman quarterback. And what was the final score of that game?
27-9, I believe.
Okay. So when you think about that final score, it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, because they pulled starters.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, because I felt that without Haynes and what was the other running back name?
Jordan Marshall.
Without the 1-2 punch, they were going to struggle. And that's why I asked you. That's why I text. I said, I knew Haynes had been out for a couple of weeks or maybe 3. And I felt like in order to beat Ohio State, they most definitely needed Haynes and Marshall to do it. Because time of possession, physicality, this is Michigan State. This is Michigan, Ohio State. That's what wins that football game. That's what wins that football game. That football game is won in the trenches if you don't do it anytime during the year. It's a physical football game. The team that runs the football the best usually wins that game. You might have a couple big plays in the passing game here or there. This is the thing. Julian Sand, was he a sophomore?
Redshirt freshman.
Redshirt freshman. Him and Bryce Underwood, I believe this Michigan team had in the wide receiving core a talented group of wide receivers.
But you don't even get in the ball. But keep going.
Yeah, I understand that. But this is the thing. Like I said, this game is about physicality. Weather permitting, that game had a little snowfall early, a little bit more snowfall late. I felt like if they didn't have that stable of running backs, they were already up against it. And Ohio State is on a high since they lost to Michigan. How many games have they won since, including winning the national championship?
16, I think.
16-game winning streak. All the motivation in the world to win this game. Because even with the national championship in hand, this game was more important to Ohio State.
Yeah.
because Michigan had a few in the bag for the last 4 years. The pressure
Yeah.
wasn't on Michigan, and Michigan wasn't really healthy in the places that they needed to be running back. And I just felt like they're going to be up against it. And early in the game, it was what I expected. It was a slow grind, slow grind, slow grind until Julian Sand made a couple plays. And then all of a sudden, once he made those couple plays, then they just started to ground it out and just beat them up, beat them up. 27-9 was the final. Self-explanatory. This was not the game where Bryce Underwood was going to go, especially without his two top backs, and go for 250 yards, 300 yards passing.
No.
Now, I could have seen him scramble. I could have seen him scramble and make some big plays in the run game with his feet, but I didn't even think that was possible without any deception with the running backs. Two healthy running backs. So I felt like they were up against it. And I know I'm not making you feel any better about this.
I mean, it's 27-9. I can't do nothing about it. It's 27-9. It happened.
But what I'm saying is, I didn't expect Michigan to win. Had they won, we'd still be talking about this game. We're talking about it anyway because you're trying to get through it. But the country, you thinking about, they talking about Lane Kiffin. Had Michigan pulled off a win on Saturday with that roster, with that running back or those running backs, we'd still be talking about that game right now. And we'd be talking about Ryan Day's job possibility after he won the national championship. Ohio State had all the motivation in the world to go in and win that game. And now the job for Michigan is due. As you say, today was a national signing day. Got to get in the living rooms, or you got to get on the portal, and you got to cut them deals. You got to get that NIL working.
Because we got deep pockets.
In 360 something more days, this the measuring stick for Coach Moore. If he doesn't win this game next year,
gone.
He gone.
Gone. And that's what I said. When I outlined the schedule, they got a tough, it's not a cupcake, what was that school we made up back in the Jiffy State? The Jiffy State corn muffins and that. It ain't none of them on the schedule next year. Like, you really got to play big boy football throughout the duration of the year, not just from November to the end, the first week of November to the end. You got to play it all year. And just to go back to the game, because I forgot about this and I was screaming about this during the game. Now, we're down our two best backs. I understand that. Andrew Marsh, the freshman wide receiver, number 4, was the leader in yardage of any wide receiver from October 1st to then. Why don't you just get him a little, a bubble screen or a smoke screen, something down just so he can touch the ball, so he can feel a part of the game? Because he's your game breaker. Jordan Marshall's out. Bryce can't do nothing. We can't throw it down the field. I thought they should have did that early in the game just so he can touch the ball.
Yeah, but this is another thing. This is one thing I didn't bring up. Matt Patricia is the defensive coordinator for Ohio State, correct?
Yeah.
And that's another thing you got to think about. Matt Patricia, would you say he's probably the best defensive coordinator in college football right now?
But Matt Patricia does not influence my play calls. For example, I can run.
Yes, the hell he does when he's scheming up a defense. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's early in the game. When we scripting the plays, first 15.
Okay.
First quarter. This is what I'm talking about. Not later in the game. First quarter. I'm just trying to establish momentum, get my feet wet. I want to, make sure we in the game. You can run a jet sweep. That's a safe play. One of your best kids touch the ball. You snap the ball. Turn right down the line, especially when they playing cover 3 and they off the line. Just throw it to him so he catches the ball. Now he's in the game. He's in the game now. we don't know what his confidence level is. He was out there doing cardio the whole day. I didn't understand it. So so for Sharon Moore to allow that to happen, it's an indictment on him. It's an indictment on that offensive staff, especially when your two best players went down.
Now, you probably have not quite got over this, but I hope you feel a little bit better that you had a chance to talk about it and express to us what your playbook would have looked like. Your first 15, scripted
You know how many
plays.
national championships I won on college football? 26.
Hey man, tell me about it. Listen. Now you haven't watched much sports since that game. You've been down, but we're gonna wrap this up. But this is what I want to say. Thanksgiving Day, Thanksgiving weekend, even up to Tuesday night. The sports has been spectacular. The games to watch have been spectacular. Thanks to college football, college basketball was off the chain all last week, before Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving, even up to the moment. Most recently, Duke played Florida at Cameron Indoor. North Carolina going to Rupp and play Kentucky. And I don't know if many people have had much interest in this damn NBA Cup tournament that's been going on
live.
Yeah, you went to see the Heat and Bulls, but this is my point. This Thanksgiving weekend, I hope many people enjoyed it. This Thanksgiving holiday up until the weekend was probably the sports programming, probably one of the best that I have ever seen. When you look at all of the sports that were, you know, available to us, college basketball, college football, NFL, and probably coming in last place would have been the NBA, And the thing about it was, one point I want to make is with college basketball, they just march out the traditional teams. They just to go out. We don't even know these guys right now. I mean, Cameron Boozer for Duke, Caleb Wilson for North Carolina. There's a couple kids I know that's in the college basketball. Kyan Anthony for Syracuse. I know a few guys. Jalen Washington for Vanderbilt. Gary Indiana, Gary Westside. Mason Nicholson, Gary Westside. Kamari Peterson at the University of Washington. Just a few guys I know locally. Those few guys I know that's playing ball at the collegiate level. But my point is this. When I'm watching Duke in Florida, and the Celtics and who were playing the Celtics at the same time? It was the Celtics and the damn, I can't even remember. That's the thing. The Celtics were playing. I'm getting a blank. I'm drawing a blank. That's a damn shame.
Yeah, exactly.
The Boston Celtics was playing somebody at the same time Duke and Florida was playing. I was tuned in to Duke and Florida, and then I took out the time to tune into some Illinois high school state football championship games, and I didn't give a damn about what was going on in the NBA. And if you wonder, in the state of Illinois, they playing the state championship game on a Tuesday night or the Wednesday night because on Saturday we got inclement weather, so they had to postpone those games. And at this moment, I'm watching Mount Carmel and Oswego. Yes, I'm watching the game right now. Mount Carmel and Oswego, because they say Mount Carmel's good. They expected to win every game on their schedule. I heard a lot about this team right now. There's 0-0 in the first quarter. But on Tuesday night, I also watched, while I was watching Duke in Florida, I also tuned into East St. Louis play Fenwick. I didn't watch the NBA. And I still don't know who the Celtics played.
Because it's not fantastic no more.
It's not fantastic. Exactly.
It's not.
So do you remember, like I said, Duke, Florida, defending national champ, they just say, hey, let's go to Cameron Indoor and play a game.
Yeah.
Let's just go, just cut the lights on, get the Cameron crazies going, let's play a basketball game. But the NBA, they want to give you this damn cup and make you think it means something because they painted the floor and promote that more than they do the damn NBA finals.
Yep. Yeah.
And
the math ain't mathing.
And then the night in and night out, guys got on uniforms. We don't even recognize the teams. You know, we got all these different themes, uniforms, and all of a sudden they say ratings are down. I guess they may be up now because they done went and got the money from Amazon and all these different streaming services. But people are losing their identity with the players and the teams. Meanwhile, Duke in Florida can just say, let's go on ESPN. You'll figure out who the players are later. Following that game, Kentucky and North Carolina. I know Caleb Wilson. The rest of the guys, I'll figure them out later, but I'm going to watch Caleb Wilson.
Yeah.
And did we have you figured out who the Boston Celtics played Tuesday night?
Nope. Listen,
this is what I'm saying, man. Do you remember when you could turn on the game, when you could turn on TBS on a Tuesday night and the Celtics can play the Atlanta Hawks and it'd be a big damn deal? That's not the same anymore. And we didn't need a damn cup to make us watch it. They just played basketball, played some defense, fight for some rebounds, hit some threes, hit some layups. Big man go down in the post, make some moves. It was some diversity. Fundamentals. We didn't have to break the game down and the referee get all in the damn camera and explain every call every 20 minutes. It's a damn stage play. It's a damn stage play. That's what I think about when I'm watching NBA game. That's what I think. It's like a damn stage play. But I think I said enough about the NBA. Look, the college football season is winding up. We talked about your Wolverines. We're gonna wrap up. The biggest games of the week, college football. We in the conference championship weekend. We're running up. We're running hot on time. Got to get out of here soon. In the Big 12, BYU, Texas Tech, SEC, Georgia, and Alabama. I think it's the second time they faced each other.
Yep.
Probably the game for the Heisman. The Heisman. The best quarterback in America, because they're damn sure ain't the best football player.
Yeah.
The Heisman Trophy game. Indiana against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Bobby Knight will be proud of these Hoosiers. Playing for the Big Ten Championship in Indianapolis on Saturday night. ACC Championship game, Duke against Virginia, and I think that gives us our power 1, 2, 3, 4, because we used to have 5. But there's our power 4 conferences: Big 12, SEC, Big 10, and ACC. I just wanted to bring them games out. But one game in particular, this so-called game between number 1 and 2, Ohio State against Indiana in Indianapolis. They're saying this could be a game for the Heisman. Julian saying, and what's the quarterback name in Indiana?
Mendoza.
How do you feel? I know you probably won't watch this game, will you?
It'll be on, but
care
less. Couldn't care less.
It's another big weekend for sports. Those are some big games in the national and NCAA football leading up to the college football playoffs. This game, we already got a 1-2 matchup between Ohio State and Indiana, and I don't know if that kind of hurts. I don't know if that one game hurts what we have to look forward to in the playoffs, since we already got 1 and 2 against each other right now. But the Heisman race takes center stage in that game, in my opinion. Big week for the NFL. Of course, the game we've been talking about with the NFL was the Bears and Packers. I think we said enough about that. But it's a bunch of big games in the NFL this week. Thursday night, Dallas at Detroit. Big game because both of these teams need this game for playoff contention. Seattle at Atlanta. Cincinnati at Buffalo. Joe Burrow against Josh Allen. Joe Burrow just, sharpening his skills at this point. They're not playing for anything as far as playoff contentions. And Josh Allen is just continuing to play for position in the playoffs going forward. And then for $8, you can go to Cleveland and watch Cam Ward play against Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland.
Last week, $12 ticket prices went down.
Yeah, $8 you can go to Cleveland and watch this game. That's the lowest ticket. That's the cheapest ticket pricing at that game in Cleveland. This is my thing. I talked about it. Narratives in Cleveland. Now you got this narrative with Cam Ward. They're gonna be, kind of comparing the two quarterbacks, Cam Ward and Shedeur. Cam Ward being the number one pick in the overall pick in the 2025 draft, and Shedeur kind of being shysted going all the way down to what was the fifth round? Fifth round. So now they're going to be critiquing their quarterback play for $8. You can go watch that. But I'm going to watch it. Thanks for my man Buck the Ball. I got those capabilities to do that. I'm going to watch that game specifically to see how they narrate that game and to see Shedeur. And I don't think I've watched Cam since they played the Colts one week, so I'm gonna chime in on that game specifically because it's an early noon game or 12 o'clock game for Central Time. So that'll get me to the Bears and Packers at 3:25, and then Washington at Minnesota. Minnesota got some interesting things going on at quarterback as well. But you know what? This is what I'm gonna say about Cleveland before I go any further. Cleveland, I don't know if you know this, but Deshaun Watson has been cleared to practice. And this is what I mean with these narratives with Cleveland. So early in the season, they got the chance to see Joe Flacco, right? For a few weeks. They trade Joe Flacco, then they bring in Dillon Gabriel, right? Dillon Gabriel plays a few weeks and then he gets a concussion. Now we get to see Shedeur. The 12s all over the place. We get to see Shedeur, must-see TV. For whatever reason, Dillon Gabriel was too, but not as big a factor. They just want to try to critique Dillon Gabriel, building up to Shedeur. Now the reports are that Deshaun Watson is being cleared to practice. So now we've seen Shedeur, we've seen Dillon, we've seen Flacco. So are they setting us up to see Deshaun for the last 2-3 weeks of the season?
I wouldn't put it.
And we would have seen outside of Kenny Pickett. I think they traded him, right? And then they traded Joe Flacco. We would have seen 4 quarterbacks in Cleveland with 4 different narratives, and that's how they sold us the Cleveland Browns.
Fantastic. Well, it's not in that situation because it shouldn't have even been all of that for Cleveland. But the NFL is fantastic. And I do think we're gonna get to see Deshaun. I do, because
those last 2 or 3 weeks, because they're gonna make Deshaun earn his 2. I mean, he been cashing them checks and they ain't been bouncing. So they're like, hey man, the check's not bouncing, you gonna play. Check's not bouncing, your ass gonna play a game or 2 this year. Yeah, damn it, we said it. We sold 12 t-shirts. We sold 12 jerseys. Dillon got knocked out. He got a concussion. He's too short. He can't get it done. But you're gonna play, goddamn it, because you can cash a couple of these checks. Yeah, get ready to lace him up, Deshaun. He ready. He been cleared for practice, so he gonna play a couple games, and then we would have seen 4 different quarterbacks with all the different story narratives for the Cleveland Browns, and that's how they marketed the Cleveland Browns to us for 18 weeks. With that being said, side story, Garrett is probably the best defensive player in football.
And about to break the sack record. Yeah.
Hey, man, NFL action is fantastic. All the storylines have been played on the practice field or the playing field. No load management. Okay. Just play, just compete. And it's made for television. So I just wanted to get to that, but I'm gonna go through the rest of the NFL. We're gonna get out of here. So Minnesota, Washington, Minnesota, Miami, in New York playing the Jets, New Orleans and Tampa. Baker Mayfield with the shoulder, I think he had a shoulder injury on his non-throwing shoulder injured. He might be out for that game. Indianapolis not playing particularly well, but they got a really good matchup now with Jacksonville. This probably Jacksonville's biggest game since they beat the Chiefs earlier this season.
That was like week 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So that might be a big game. That's another 12 o'clock Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. And Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Two teams going in two totally different directions. Pittsburgh kind of slipping at the wheel. Baltimore kind of ascending to make a run at winning the division. Must see TV. NFL action is fantastic. They just go out on the field. They line up. They play for these titles. They ain't got to paint the field a special color, nothing like that. They just put the teams out there, put the logos out there, and we go play football. Somehow people figure out how they're going to watch it. But Pittsburgh, I forgot to, Aaron Rodgers, of course, with the busted nose against, who was that, Buffalo last week?
Yeah.
So Deshaun Watson, not Deshaun, but Lamar Jackson, I don't think he's 100%. I think Aaron Rodgers is fighting it a little bit. I don't know. Mason Rudolph got a chance to play against Buffalo. So I don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is going to start this game, but I assume he's going to play. They're trying to get in the playoffs. Denver at Vegas. All right. Denver, one of the best teams in the league. Chicago, like I said, at Lambeau. All right. I mean, we talked about that. Don't need no more production, but no more promotion. But we're gonna promote my man DJ Get Down once again, because he gonna be at Jay's Supper Club.
2601 Broadway, Indiana. Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, man. DJ Get Down, Jay's Supper Club. Doors open at 2:30. There you go. So Los Angeles in Arizona playing the Cardinals. Houston in a must-win game for probably both of these teams. Definitely for the Kansas City Chiefs. Houston has been considered probably the top defense in the NFL. That's a Sunday night matchup. Houston at KC. Must-win game. KC got to win out for the rest of the year to make the playoffs. So they definitely got a lot to play for. And then Monday night, the Eagles coming off their loss to the Bears, they get to go to LA and play against the Chargers. The Chargers are a little banged up on Monday night, but they get to go play the Chargers on Monday Night Football. And I thought the bye weeks were done, but New England, I think New England got the best record in the league right now.
2 losses, I think they got.
Yeah, New England, the Patriots, the New York Giants, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Carolina Panthers are all on bye weeks. Look, man, we went about 30 minutes past, but it's been real. Thanks for watching. We're going to talk about this thing once the Bears come back from Lambeau. We're going to see how Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, quiet these narratives that's been going into this Bear Packer week. Thanks for watching. It's time to get my man out there. He got to get out there and grind. So It's been real.
Hey, it's basketball season, college basketball at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another thing too. We talked about Michigan football, but
Yeah.
Michigan might. I don't know. They got a damn good basketball team, and Michigan State got a good ball team. Got a good basketball team too. That Michigan State basketball game this season. I don't know if they meet twice or not.
Twice.
They're gonna be two pretty good games matching up, man, for them two teams, man. I'm glad you brought that up. It is basketball season. Watch the game.
We out.